I'm building accent walls for the home office, but you can do this in any room in your house. Board and batten wainscoting with a hidden panel, next on Home Pro Hero. If you're watching my channel for the first time, I'm in the middle of a home office build. Took a storage space, about 75 square feet, and I'm making it a nice little home office. There's 2 other videos in the series. If you haven't checked those out, I'll put a link in the description. You can catch up real quick. I've got 2 walls I need to drywall and then add wainscoting to make them look a little better. Super easy project, fairly inexpensive. Like always, if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how much it cost and how long it took me to do it. I hate drywall. Did a basement several years ago. I think in my first house, did all the drywall work myself. That was plenty of drywall work for my entire lifetime. In this project, there's not much of it. I can suck it up and do it. So I purchased 4 sheets of 1/2-inch drywall from Menards. Got a nice rebate for it. Shouldn't take long. Let's go ahead and knock it out. If you want to learn how to do more projects like this to improve the value of your house and all the other different types of home improvement stuff I do, start now by subscribing and liking this video. Okay, drywall work wasn't too bad at all. I have a lot more screws than what I probably needed, but a lot of the screws are getting covered up by the wainscoting, so it's not a big deal. But I am going to take wainscoting all the way around through the panel, through the door, tie into the door, and then come out on this side. So all of this will get wainscoting. I guess you call it wainscoting. You can call it board and batten too. Accent wall is what it really is. It gives character to the wall. You can see I have the cutout for the hidden panel, the top of the ceiling where I had the shiplap, and the wall. You can see there's a crack there. That gets a 1.5 by, or it's a 1x2 board up there to trim that all out, so the crack can be as big as it wants. So I've got this accent wall wainscoting board and batten look in 3 different areas in my house. I've got it in my laundry room, I've got it in my pantry area, and I also have it in my game room in the basement. The reason why I'm starting on this wall is because this wall is going to set the height for all the other walls. The reason why it's setting the height is real simple. I've got a secret panel in there that I'm trying to plug in with the wainscoting, and I don't know exactly what the height's going to be until I get it up there and make sure it lines up right, and then I'll just carry it along. But once that's set, I know exactly what the height's going to be. It should be easy to wrap around and catch the rest of it. So the majority of my work will be on this wall. We're using 1x6s at the very bottom of the wall. We're using 1x4 rails, and we're using a 1x4 topper with a 1x2 on edge at the very top as a cap. 2 rails. Doesn't really matter about the lengths for the fact that my space will never be like your space, so I'm not going to bore you with numbers. Once I get the box, then what I'll do is I'll measure the rest of it, make sure everything lines up right, and then knock it out. So I'm putting this wall together with pocket screws, something I do all the time. I bought a little jig. You need 2 tools. You need an impact, doesn't matter what brand, I got DeWalt just because they work good. I've had them forever, and a regular drill. That's all you need. I originally bought this little pocket hole jig. It was cheap, really cheap. I can't remember the price. I put the price in the description. But then I upgraded to this once I realized that this works good, but this is just a lot better, a little easier for one person. It's real simple, actually. It's a great jig, great for DIYers. You don't have to get a fancy device. They sell all kinds of these, a lot more expensive than this one. Got a piece of flooring. I'm not going to go underneath the baseboards. I just wanted to get off the floor a little bit, and the 1/8 is a pretty good distance, so I just figured I'd use that as a shim to build the wall. Pretty simple with the 1x4. If you adjust the clamp, it'll adjust this to make it nice and flush. It's perfect right on money right there. Make sure it doesn't fall over me. quick pro tip. You want to do all the bottoms at once on a panel like this and make sure it lines up right. And you can see right here, I use this as a spacer on all of them on off, just a tad. See, maybe 1/8 of an inch. You'll never notice that. Now, if you wonder why you use pocket screws, is if you look at the way that the joints are, how smooth they are, really, really smooth compared to if I was just face nailing these. Same thing here. Now, they will need a little bit of wood filling, a little bit of sanding, but for the most part, it's good to go. I like to get all the panels built, make sure everything looks good, it's gonna go together nice, and then I install. So let's go ahead and get to work on these quick little walls here, and then we'll hit the door. Now with the 1x2, you use the 2 side holes. The 1x4, 1x6, I use the outsides, but these 2 small ones next to each other, but you can't beat working outside in November in Indiana. The weather's phenomenal. I've got my cut station set up outside. Okay, let's talk about spacing, how I space different panels out. It's all cosmetically, it has to look good. So you gotta be in the same zip code as other panels in the room. You don't have to be exact, but you wanna be close. I like to put the panels in odd numbers, not even. Sometimes you have to go with even, you don't have a choice. 13, so it's 13 space, and those are 12 over here. So that plays nice, it's off an inch from there. You'll never know the difference. Now here, you can see what I did here. I had to get around the electrical box. So I went with a 1x2 with a 1x4, and it'll look fine. It'll fit right nice and tight in there like that, and it'll look fine. Because there's gonna be a trim piece from here to here, and all the way around the door, so that all gets seamlessly put in. So it looks like a big bulky piece of wood right here. Corner's nice and bulky too, just like that corner. So I'm trying to match as much as possible, to be honest with you. Ooh, I spaced it. I didn't get that receptacle down there. I didn't even think about it, but it clears, thank God. Okay, I got everything installed. I used liquid nails, 1 3/4 inch nails, 18 gauge, same nailer I used for the shiplap. The last part of the wainscoting is going to be that top piece right there. It's a 1x2, gives it a nice cap, and then we'll get to the secret door. So when it comes to the door, it's real simple, okay? I got 1/2 inch drywall here. I bought 1/2 inch MDF, I think it's a 2x4 sheet of MDF plywood. I'm basically gonna place it inside here, hoping the depth is the same as the drywall, and then we'll use the trim boards to cover the seam here, trim board to cover the seam here, and then we'll put the trim boards, line them up with these 2 down below to make it look like 1 panel. I want it to fit snug, but I don't want it to be too tight. I am going to use magnets in the backside to kind of just keep it up against the wall, but I think the friction alone should be good enough, but the magnets will actually help so it doesn't fall on top of anybody or anything. In case of earthquakes here in Indiana, you never know. see if this thing fits. Thank God for video. I've already tested it. It does. Okay, so that's how it's gonna fit. Remember, this gets covered by a board here. Not a big deal. Board over here. There'll be no board up here. There'll be some uprights to break that line up, but that line will be visible. But the wainscoting is getting a gray paint, so if I make sure it's gray behind there, you'll never see it. Okay, for this install, we got a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So what, I got 1 1/4 inch. I'm going with the 1 inch nails with glue. All right, see how it pulls out. Boom. Bought these little gems off of Amazon. They're super, super strong. So enough to, you know, plenty if I have 4 of them. Tell you, high utilities, easy access within code. That's all that matters. I'll probably finish the drywall, the caulk, the paint, all off camera. I'll show you what it looks like right now. I caulked everything, I filled everything, I put 2 coats of primer on the wall, and I also hit the ceiling with 2 coats. Everything's good to go for final paint, but that won't be this video. Stay tuned for the next video, which will be flooring. See you next time.